I got to say, we've got some wonderful questions coming in. We'll use this one from Julianne. If the hidden part is something that the character can't see clearly, does not admit, and is not really aware of, how can a writer find this hidden part, understand it, and then expose it to the audience?
Well, first, the writer has to understand that there are things hidden. Anybody who wants to tell stories of a certain complexity, it has to have a sense of, it has to have an understanding more than a sense. They have to understand human psychology. And so that's the foundational. You have to understand how human beings work, what it is to live in respond to the pressures of life, make choices, take actions, and then react to the effects of what you've done. Well, you have to have a certain understanding of human psychology to begin with. Now, the deepest, the subconscious, the true motives that are driving a character can never be and should never be explained. They should be implied. You can only imply. If a character steps out and says, deeply inside, deep in my deepest self, my subconscious self, I believe, I think this, whatever that character says is nonsense. People cannot explain themselves to themselves or to anybody else. They have ideas, they think they know who they are, okay? But deep inside, no, it's subconscious, all right? And so there's no way you can put those words in the character's mouth in any way that would be credible. What you do is you put your character under pressure when things are really at stake, when the forces of life are compelling the character to make a choice and take an action in an effort to put their life back into balance. How that character chooses, that specific character, what they choose to do under that specific pressure is who they are. You express the deep truth of a character by putting them under pressure, putting them in dilemma. They have to choose between things of equal value, between two things they don't want either of them, but they have to take one of them, or two things they want both, but they can only have one. And you put tremendous value at that moment that their life is hanging by a thread, so to speak, and they take an action. How they choose to act and then react is who they are. And as a result, the audience's mind, or the reader's mind, goes through the surface and goes, we understand who they are by implication of their action. That's the kind of person who deep down inside, subconsciously, believes in this, trusts in that, sees life in a certain way, wants a certain thing out of life. We see through a character's outer behavior to their deepest core self, and beyond that to their hidden self, by implication in how they act and react to the pressures of life. And in a reader and an audience, it happens like that. You see a character take an action, choose to do this, choose to do that. We're talking about Peggy in Mad Men. When she gets pregnant, she decides to tell no one and pretend that she's just, overeating. That's a choice. And deep down inside, then we see through Peggy, what kind of person chooses to hide her pregnancy and strap her belly in so that, and God knows what doing to the unborn child with that kind of behavior, and how much she values her job, how much she's afraid of her family, how much she blah blah blah. We see deeply into her. Now she could never explain this. She just did it because it just seemed like the thing to do. It was necessary to keep her job and keep her reputation. but you put a child's life in danger, unborn child's life in danger to do that. That's just a lot. So that's how you do it. You first of all have to understand who your character is. Then you have to put them under pressure, let them make choices, take actions, and instantly, if you do it beautifully, instantly the audience or the reader goes, wow, and they get it. They get it. Think about your own story-going experience, and you realize that as a reader, as an audience yourself, you've been through this all your life. How did you come to understand the characters that you've seen all your life, know who they really are? You watched them make choices to take actions under pressure, and how they reacted to their own actions, and the world is who they really are. And so it's not complicated, but it's based upon your understanding of the character and then your telling of a story to put characters into dilemma where they must choose to act. And then we figure it out who they really are. I can say that as simply as that, knowing how incredibly difficult this is to do.